Greetings, guys and gals, and welcome to Fate Hunters, the card game that throws you for a loop every time. So, super fun game, a lot of options, super enjoyable, super painful to play sometimes because it's super difficult. It has a very high difficulty level. We have our different characters that we're going to choose that we're going to delve dungeons with. We have the Inquisitor, fanatical warrior of the Inquisition, endowed with the divine power of healing and destruction. Last word. Additional effect if you play this card when you have no cards in your hand. So the last card that you play that says last word, whatever effect that last word specifies, it happens. We have the Arcanist, master of arcane magic, a force destructive, but at the same time unstable and treacherous. We have our damsel in distress, but she's a bad girl with where her intentions are unclear. Don't take her home to mom. The cards with this ability have two effects, but only one effect will apply. So she gives you two options. She's the options gal, so pretty useful. Raiders, the Raider. For several centuries, the ancient curse prevails over him, forcing him to seek and devour ancient artifacts. His unquenchable thirst is the source of unlimited strength and great weakness. Cards with this ability can remove cards from play. And we have our Berserker, a ferocious and unstoppable warrior from the northern clans. Bah! He draws his strength from his rage. You may spend rage tokens to apply an additional effect. And we have the Spy. We're not going to play the Spy because the Spy is kind of an amalgamation of all the other characters, which is entertaining to play, but to kind of pawn him off as just a new character is kind of silly. Nobody knows who he is and where he came from. Some even doubt whether a human or something else is hiding under that mysterious mask. He just uses the skills of all the other characters, so it's kind of sort of stealing from everybody else, I guess. So let's go ahead and we'll go through these real quick. These are starter cards. As you get treasure, as you plunder treasure, you can start to unlock these cards, and once they're unlocked, you can have more choices. So the skills, you can't choose your skills. The skills you start out with are the skills you start out with. Now your supply you can choose. So I can switch out these cards to the cards here. Let's go ahead and begin. Okay, for our Inquisitor, we and as with any character, you have, of course, your health. This is how many characters you have. If you're on a health HP, you die, of course. They're very, easy explanation. The character portrait. You have your level. And you gain experience. You gain levels, and as you gain levels, you get more cards to choose from. And then here, separate from the levels that are your experience levels, are the dungeon levels. And these fill up as you proceed through the dungeons. And there are 5 levels. And this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I like the strategy of it. It's almost a little too difficult for me. Usually the first two or three levels I can get through pretty fine, but as you start proceeding into even the 3rd level, the 4th level, and the 5th level, yikes! You gotta, it's really hard to beat this game, even on the easiest setting. So we're going to go ahead and look through our cards here. We have deal 2 damage to a creature, draw a card. We're going to do that. We have an extra card. Let's look through. We could deal 5 damage and kill him right now. We'd have to draw 1 few card next turn, so it's good to look at the stipulations of the cards. So still 3 damage. Let's go ahead and deal 2 damage to him. The power grows. So we get to pick some loot after we beat a room. We also get loot. So and take all this stuff. Sometimes it's good to leave loot behind depending on what loot it is. Deal 3 damage to a creature. Discard the top 2 cards from the draw pile. Last word, discard the next top cards from 2 cards from the draw pile. Interesting. Some might be good if we want to go through our deck faster, if we kind of have omnipresence, kind of know what's ahead in our deck. Shackles reduce the attack of the creature by 2. Banish banish a non-boss creature, you lose HP equal to that creature's attack. Let's go ahead and do it. It's a little bit of a sacrifice here, but it might be worth it if you run into a really big creature. To its attack. So if it has really high health and low attack, that would be a perfect card to use. So let's take a look here. This has 4 health. And since it's going to attack us anyway, you might as well do the damage and get rid of it. And then we have a card here that reduces the attack of a non-boss creature by 2, and if I played it last, I draw a card. I should have just played these 2 and then drew it, but you know, hindsight's 2020. A lot of this game is really, you know, at the beginning it's super easy, so you can make mistakes, but as you get to even level 3, it's very integral what cards you play when, which does make for a very challenging game, and it's you know, the entertainment value, I think, the ambiance of the game, the art style, the creative use of the cards and the abilities of the characters and the creatures and different elements of the game really make it something that's very easy for me to go back to. So let's see here. Let's deal 3 damage and then 1 damage. And a shield, draw 1 fewer card next turn. Let's go ahead and use it. So we have 4 cards this turn, but we can stand an attack if we're attacked. Deal 1 to 2 damage there. We get the draw card. And there, so that is a 3, and he's going to hit my shield. Deal 4 damage to the creature this turn. When you restore HP, instead it is dealt as damage to a random creature. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead. He has a shield on. You can see that shield around him, and that keeps. So if I attacked with this 4 damage and he had his shield on, it would just destroy the shield. It wouldn't actually deal the extra damage. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a low damage and get rid of the shield, and then I'm going to hit him with a 4. We'll get some treasure and a shield. Let's try normal room. Now later on, it's very integral. You have to choose what room best suits you. If you have low health, you probably want to choose an easy room. But I try to choose a normal room or a hard room early on, and it's frustrating, but you're more apt to get your rewarded better loot with the more challenging rooms. And that way, when the game gets harder, which it does, you have that equipment, that's the good equipment that will help you later on. Let's go through here. Deal 3 damage. Let's take a gamble and see if this will do 2 damage. Great. We'll go ahead and deal 5 damage, and we'll draw 1 less next turn. We have all this treasure, which is great, which is going to help us upgrade. Like treasure, there are certain rooms, you choose what's called a mysterious room, and a lot of times there'll be either a blacksmith or an items merchant, and you'll be able to trade your treasure for high value items and weapon upgrades. But in this case, right now it's just clogging my hand, so you can't play a weapon card if you have a bunch of gold coins in your hand. So it's something to bear in mind when you play the game. Not everything good is gold, but it is good to have gold for sure. I'm not knocking it. You draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. On your turn, if you lose HP, instead restore that much HP. Reduce the attack of all non-boss creatures by 1. Ooh, restore 2 HP. It's pretty cool. And you want to think too, if you have cards that do multiple damage to multiple creatures, that's kind of what you want to think about as the game progresses, because you're going to not only have tougher creatures, but you're going to have more of them. So let's see. Let's go ahead and reduce this guy's attack by 2. Let's deal 2 damage. Let's deal some damage to that guy. And let's deal 2 damage, draw a card. And go ahead and we really neutered this poor guy. He's not happy with us. This guy is not really excited that we took away his attack. So let's see. In treasure chests, so instead of sacks and bags, you want to try to go for the treasure chest, because the treasure chests will have the more valuable items, and they also look like pretty cool. These guys are pretty baller. I don't know. The artwork is just so beautiful, just really well rendered. Alright, so these both have shields, so let's see where their shield, deal 4 damage. That guy's going to deal 3 damage to me anyway, so I might as well banish him, and that way I don't have to worry about him next turn. So, but it did nerf me down to 3. I would have had to get rid of his shield and then his health, which could have lasted, potentially more turns. And we're already at the boss. Great, so we're killing it. So we have the cauldron. At the start of turn, spawn 2 random creatures. So we want to make sure that we attack the cauldron first, because every turn he's going to spawn 2 creatures. So you can see how it would catch up with us pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and deal 4 damage, deal a damage, deal 3 damage, get as much damage in as we can, and reduce the attack of all non-creatures by 2. Last word, let's see if we can, well, I don't want to use the mushrooms yet, so we probably won't be able to play last word. Let's gain a shield. Let's go ahead and reduce all the non-boss creatures by 1. So alright, we're doing okay. So let's see if we can finish this guy off. 2, draw a card. Banish non-boss creature. Lose life equal to the creature's attack. So in this case, since this guy's going to attack us next turn anyway, let's go ahead and get rid of it. And then let's go ahead and use our health potion. So we're not doing too bad so far. But yeah, he keeps spawning stuff, so we want to stay on top of this cauldron. Deal damage we can. This guy reduces attack of non-boss creature by 2. Last word, draw a card. Because we have this treasure in our hand, we can't play it as a last word. So something to bear in mind. We get too greedy, I guess. Oh my goodness. Deal 5 damage to a creature, draw 1 fewer card next turn. Let's take the risk just to try to take this cauldron out before it destroys us. Alright, now it's just cleaning house and we're all set. And since we're just playing to the first boss, since it's a let's play level, let's go ahead and deal this card, which is very neat because it deals 8 damage to your creature, but every time you use it, its damage decreases by 1 until it's down to 2 damage. So it's kind of the reward now, and the fun now, and the the hard work later kind of thing. But I mean, for right now, it suits our purpose. Fortunately, we've nerfed a lot of the damage off, so. But we are getting low on health, so something to bear in mind. Just got to reduce the attack of all creatures by 1. Let's get rid of this guy. Reduce the, yeah. I know it's pointless to do that, but we're going to try to use the ability on this by making it the last word card. These guys regenerate, so it would be hard to knock them out with the cards that I had. 4 to this guy, go 2 to this guy, deal 8, now 7 to that guy, deal 4 damage, and ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten through the first dungeon, and let's go. Now we Meet up with the fortune teller who gives us options. We have fate points. We have 5 fate points, and we can choose how to spend those fate points on whatever we want, which is pretty exciting. So we have our fate cards, which I usually choose, which you choose a passive ability that lasts you through the entire game, which is I would highly recommend. You can delve a heroic skill card, a legendary item card. You can exile a card from your deck, which if your deck's getting full of cards that are unuseful, it can be very valuable. There you can heal, which will give you full health, which is really good. There's 3. You can get vigor, which increases your max HP by 2, and you can turn in your treasure. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose the Fate card, which is really interesting, which gives you a special ability that you can use throughout the rest of the game. You get 1 per dungeon level if you use your Fate points on a Fate card per dungeon level. The Lovers, whenever you add a non-heroic skill card to your deck, add an extra copy, but reduce your max HP by 2. When you discard a treasure card from your hand, 1 HP is restored. If your hero dies, you only lose half your gold. It's pretty useful. Restore to full HP, your max HP is doubled. That's pretty awesome. But reduces health restoration from all cards and passive skills to 1. Ouch. So we can't rapidly heal. So let's do the Empress, I guess. And in this case, since we're really low on HP, let's restore to our full HP. And let's go ahead and take all the gold and leave the tower because I just wanted to play a level here of one of the characters. But let's go ahead and go through and get kind of an overview of the other ones. The Arcanist, the Master of Arcane Magic, a force destructive, but at the same time unstable and treacherous. So we'll see. Her cards, she's more spell driven. As you'll see, she has less hit points, but her cards usually deal more damage, and she usually gives you options on what cards you want to choose. So there's definitely a benefit to playing her, her as a character. Let's see. Let's deal. I usually don't do this, but let's deal an explosive damage to get this guy right off the bat. Otherwise, we won't be able to take care of it. And use our Thunder Hammer. Our Thunder Hammer from the gods, Thor's mighty hammer. Just silly. Alright, so we're skipping through that. We're going to go ahead and let's deal 5 damage to all creatures, but you draw 3 damage, draw 3 fewer cards next turn. So a bit of a sacrifice, but worth it, I think. This turn, all your skill cards have critical strike, damage, choose 1. So this is an example of her choice card. Choose 1. This turn, all of your skill cards, which are the spells, have critical strike. Damage effects of the next skill card played this turn will deal 2 additional damage. So pretty cool, but I'm going to go with the Flame Strike. I think that you'll see as you notice in this game that characters tend to stack up, and if they all stack up against you, it's good to have like some giant blanket damage card that can just take them all out at once. So let's see here. Let's drop 2 cards and discard a card at random. Interesting. I don't know if that helped us. I think that actually hurt us, but 5 experience though. That's helpful. This card stuns the creature that's already stunned and kill it instead and deal 2 damage to other creatures. It's a pretty good card. Deal 1 to 5 damage, hopefully. Wow, nice, perfect. Just the right amount. I'm going to deal 1 damage to this guy, 1 damage to that guy. Notice these guys are fast, so they got to attack me before I attack them. Let's deal 1 damage, or 1 HP. And should we use this already? Let's go ahead and use it. So it costs us 3 cards next turn, but hopefully it won't put us at a severe disadvantage. Stun a non-boss creature. The creature's already stun, kill it, and deal 2 damage to all other creatures. Let's just see if we can Deal damage to random creature. Stun a creature, and then we only have 2 damaged out, so not too bad. Oh my goodness, guys. This card is awesome. This card is crazy good. Let's see what I mean in a bit. Let's gain 5 experience. Deal 3 to 5 damage to random creature. Let's use our healing herbs. And get rid of the ooze. The ooze, this frightening ooze from Mars. They're coming. They're invading Earth. Yeah, guys. Ancient knowledge is pretty baller, pretty cool to have. So basically, with like all our options, I can choose what I can either draw 3 cards, which is always an amazing ability. The only cat being I can't draw additional cards this turn, but helps in a pinch. And then the real power is adding a random Arcana skill card to your hands. This is like, instead of waiting till you have enough experience, this is like the Mastering Alchemy, where you just can turn anything into gold, and you just get like just a skill card every time you play this card. But it can fill up your deck quick, and the only caveat is if you don't know, unless you thin out your deck, you can fill your deck up pretty quick, and they might not be all the skill cards that you want necessarily. But it's pretty sweet. Stun a non-boss creature if that creature's already stunned, then kill it and stun and deal 2 damage to other creatures. Let's stun this guy. If the creature's already stunned, then kill it and deal 2 damage. So we have 2 stun zeros. Let's go ahead and use that ability. So we killed that guy, and we use Thor's Mighty Hammer. Now, this is a really neat card. You guys will see what this card does in a bit as well. There's just so many, in my opinion, just very original, very creative ideas that went into this game. Let's stun all creatures at this point because we're kind of overwhelmed. Let's deal 3 damage with our Thunder Hammer. For this guy, whenever this creature attacks, discard a card from your hand. Not anymore. And let's take a gamble and just see if we can. Oh, nice! Did the full 5 damage. And yeah, this guy didn't know it hit him. He suddenly woke up. Wow, where'd everybody go? I'm screwed. So let's see. Let's go ahead and stun him, and then stab him and slap him, or I should say, pound him and pound him and confound him. I don't know. I tried, guys. I made a good faith effort. Let's see. Yeah, this card, guys. Adventure. You could choose an adventure. I can summon a dragon, draw 5 cards. Dragons are super powerful, but drawing 5 cards, might give you that edge you need. It's something and these options change every time you play it. You can restore 4 HP, which would be a bad option for us right now. And add the treasure chest drain. I'm going to add a treasure chest. So treasure chest, I get to delve an item card twice. So I'm going to go ahead and gain 5 experience. And I'm going to, since we're only playing the boss, I'm going to go ahead and one use have 3 daggers in my hand. Use my healing potion here. Now this guy, whenever this creature takes damage, you lose 1 HP, so pretty intense. So we want to remember that if we deal 1 damage to him, it's not going to help us because we have to at least deal 2 damage or more, because he's going to deal damage back every time. And he also deals 3 damage at the end of the turn, so we have to kind of weigh the pros and cons and what we want to do. So I'm going to try to get rid of his lackeys first in this case. So I want to avoid using the punch on him. But this has critical strike, says potential to do more than 2 damage. It looks like it's not working in my favor. This deals 1 to 5 damage. Hopefully it'll do closer to 5. Oh, 1. Ouch. Yeah, in this case, let's draw the 3 additional cards. Spell an item card. Great. 2 damage. Restore 1 HP. Deal 3 damage. 5 damage. And in this case, we'll use a punch because we almost got him. So, ouch, and then we're all set. Thor's mighty hammer! And we go through. And wow, another one. Yeah, so we could just be banging out skill cards all game. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Again, we're just kind of giving you kind of an overview of the characters, so we're gonna play through, a dungeon at most. And so we have our Raider card here. So the Raider is a little bit more. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Magic the Gathering, but the Raider reminds me of the black deck more so. And I'll explain why. Actually, more of an amalgamation of the black deck and the white deck together. And I'll explain why I think that. Basically, the character in Magic, you have different attributes kind of that get attributed to each of the colored decks that are played. Usually the green deck is attributed to powerful people. The red deck is contributed to a lot of damage quickly. The blue deck is manipulation. The white deck is usually healing, and the black deck is usually sacrifice. If you play the black deck, you usually have to gain great power. You also have to make a great sacrifice in regards to you have to choose cards. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean as we play. That's very interesting, but it also has an amalgamation of the white deck, and that there's a lot of restorative power with the the Raider, where there usually isn't in the black deck of Magic, where they're more usually in the white deck. But he also has the you'll see as we play, but a lot of credence to the people that play the black decks in Magic, because there's definitely like a trade-off to like every deck in that you have to, but there's definitely like you gain great power, but you have to make great sacrifices, which is you have to think through quite a bit. So we have our backstab, and this guy, of course, like all the other characters, is a very dark and cryptic world. I deal 2 damage to a creature and I gain a soul stone. And what I mean by regenerative, we'll do the regenerative first because I'm not seeing any sacrifice cards yet. We have these what's called soul stones, which allows us to restore 1 HP, draw a card, and have a chance to become possessed. If we become possessed, then we have to make some very cut off your arm choices, kind of. That but it can also. But right now we have full health, so there's no reason to use it. But it can be very useful in a pinch. But the temptation to use it can cause trouble. But here we go. Now you see more what I'm talking about. Dark Flame. Exile the top card from the draw pile. Deals 6 damage to a creature. I don't know what order these are in, but we probably don't want to use it right now. But yeah, that's we can deal 6 damage, which is quite a bit, but then we have to exile a card, which would permanently lose a card, so, definitely, a sacrifice has to be made. Deal 6 damage to a creature and add a cursed card to the discard pile. Let's go ahead and do that, since I favor a curse less. So our abilities are deal 2 damage and add a soul stone to the top of the draw pile. Reduce your max HP by 1, dealt a heroic skill card. Yeah, again, reduce your max HP by 1. Ouch! But you get a heroic skill card, which is a very high level skill card. Critical Strike. Deal 4 damage to a non-boss creature. Let's do Critical Strike, because that doesn't seem initially to... It's not the highest damage that can be done, but it doesn't seem like we have to, sacrifice a lot for it. Let's go ahead and play a Soul Stone, so we get to draw a card. Ooh. Already, right off the bat, we got possessed. So I can discard 2 cards, which I'm going to do because right now it doesn't matter as much. Your hero loses 4 HP. Ouch. Draw 1 fewer card next turn. Yeah, guys. It's definitely an interesting character to play in that you have to make some tough choices. Let's go ahead and discard 2 cards in this case. Yeah, Bloody Crown. Increase your max HP by 3, slightly increases your chance to become possessed. So we'll go ahead and use it. So now we have technically 20 HP, but our chance of becoming possessed is more. And since we got possessed right off the bat, maybe wasn't the best decision, but that will help us, I think, later in the game. Let's deal 4 damage to a non-boss creature. Just gotta use our fire potion, deal 2 damage, 1 to both adjacent. Deal 2 damage. And that time we didn't get burned, but we were able to heal a health. Since we can afford to right now, let's go ahead and get rid of this. I like these cards. They're difficult in the beginning, but later in the game they're super effective. The Heavy Axe. If you only deal 2 damage to a creature, but if your deck has more than 30 cards, which happens a lot later in the game, it deals 5 damage instead. You can also be crazy concise and a master deck developer and just run a game where you or find an exile card or something, exile the majority of your deck and only play with 10 cards or something, but they're just the perfect cards. So it depends on how you want to play, but this is generally a pretty reliable card in regards to it comes back to help you. And we have enough HP where let's go ahead and play the curse card so we can nerf some of the curses out of our deck. Yeah, let's see if we can kill this guy before he transforms. The shapeshifter card in the end of the turn transforms into a random creature, so he's really hard to kill right now because he's got 12 health, but I don't know if, usually the creature that he turns into is worse, so let's see if we can do it. So let's go ahead and use a soul stone, draw a card, get rid of a card. Let's use the other soul stone. Let's deal 2 damage. It adds a soul stone to the top, 2 damage, adds a soul stone to the top, 1 damage. And we'll play this card because I know what the top card is, so it didn't cost us anything as much. But yeah, we're 1 short, so I think the other ones are soul. There's at least 1 more soul stone that I would adopt. Let's go ahead and sacrifice it. Let's discard 2 cards. Discard the curse card. And we'll play the cursed sword and get rid of them because, it's worth it just because it'll probably turn into something worse. Wait, now we have a cursed card in our deck. This would have been helpful. Choose a non-boss creature and swap its attack and its health. So I think he only had a 3 attack to 12 health. So if we switched it, it would be 12 attack, which is super intense, but 3 health. And if you knock the 3 health out, it would be an easy win. So pretty neat. Let's go to a normal room. 4 damage. Let's see what abilities we have. Each 3 damage. Deal 3 damage to a creature this turn. Each time you exile a card, deal 6 damage to a random creature. 1 use, exile the top card from your draw pile. The exiled card is a treasure. Increase your max HP by 2. Otherwise, add a rated card during end. That's pretty cool. Restore 2 HP this turn. Cards cannot be exiled from the draw pile. It's pretty valuable. I don't know what he's doing there. He's looks pretty shady. He's got his strange cryptic alphabet over there with his squares and triangles and weird letters, and he's probably summoning Cthulhu, the elder ones from the deep. So let's go ahead and I'll do the offering. And deal 2 damage here. Use the belt. The soul stone here. That was probably not the best idea. Take the 3 damage. Okay. Let's see. And gain 5 experience. We're doing pretty good. But you guys are kind of getting the gist of this character. He's a very cool character, very fun to invest in as a character and to learn his abilities. And definitely not for beginner players because he has a lot of give and take in regards to you can gain great power, but you also have to sacrifice greatly. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Take the damage and we'll concede. And I think we just have 1 more Berserker. The Berserker is kind of your standard, barbarian dude that you play in Diablo or any kind of RPG game or Dungeons and Dragons, and he's like, me smash things, and just like he's your one friend that just wants to be beefy and just really enjoys the battle aspect of things, and this like big dumb brute kind of character. Let's see, but he has these rage tokens, and the rage tokens, and he also can get wound cards, which hurt him, but also can help him. So he's similar to the Raider, only not as much, and that he can do things that are painful to him that also give him great power and ability to attack. But like on the whole, he has a lot more just stuff that supplements his attack, so he can just be really beefy and attack. So rage, let's see, our war cry, Rah! Gain 1 rage token, draw a card. So we deal 3 damage here to this guy and gain a rage token. Let's go ahead and punch this guy out twice, and we'll do the Skull Crusher and try to finish him off. And he has a signature card that you can unlock that comes with the character. That's probably the most valuable signature card for his character that you can unlock, just the Whetstone. This turn, all of your weapon cards gain critical strike, and the next weapon card is played twice. So let's go ahead and hammer him in with the Skull Crusher. It's like a WWE kind of name. Sometime, if you guys get a chance, you should watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. They're pretty dated now, but there's a scene in that where he's gaining his spider sense and abilities, and he tries to test it out, and he tests it out at this like wrestling like style fight, and he doesn't realize, but it's not fake. It's actual real wrestling, and the guy is like Stone Cold Steve Austin without the cuffs. I better not blaspheme and say that wrestling is fake, but I'll leave it to you guys to decide. But in the guy is definitely like, he's like very over the top, just the best of like the wrestling tropes. So the comeback lines and stuff, like like the Rock used to do with the smell what the Rock's cooking, and just the ridiculous, silly, just fun, playful, but like over the top insults. Alright, let's see. Let's gain 1 token. And now we have 4 rage. We gotta get at least 5 rage, I think, to use our rage card that we have at the moment. Let's punch this guy out. Let's go ahead and cure this Goblin Knight here. Get a heavy axe. These guys kind of suck because they all regenerate, so. Alright, yeah, we're killing it. Deal no pain, add 3 cards. There are 3 cards, add a wound card to your hand. Rage 10, exile wound cards from your hands. Slam. Deal 3 damage to a creature, discard a card. If you discarded a wound card, draw a card and deal 1 damage to all creatures. Interesting. Okay, now we can finally use, I guess this one's only rage 3. You can use this card. Although it probably would have been more beneficial to use a weapon, but I'm just showing you the characters, so it's kind of neat to go through and see what the different cards' abilities do. Let's go for the hard room. We have our shapeshifter up to no good with his 3 creepy eyes glaring at us. And draw a card, discard a card. Let's use the Whetstone. I don't think we'll be able to. Ooh, some damage. And he's going to transform. Oh no! It's terrible. We have the Ogre Gladiator. That guy looks pretty bad, pretty badass though, pretty cool. But he's got shield generation, which is really tough. and does 3 damage. And I'm going to try to nerf him as much as we can. Yeah, we got him. And you guys kind of get the idea of the game. It's a fun game. It's just really cool. It's really neat. Let's see. Let's go ahead and where are we at? Let's concede. And yeah, so that's Fate Hunter. So I think it's a fun game. It's really easy to play. It's something that you can kill time playing. That you don't need to spend, like, if you want to go through all the dungeons, you're looking at maybe closer to an hour to 2 hours. But if you just want to play through one of the characters through a dungeon, it's like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So pretty easy to play, a lot of fun, really creative game, amazing art direction. So yeah, I'm very grateful for you guys joining me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed our time spent together. And if you guys like this game, please give me a like and let me know in the comments. And if you guys have a game that you'd like to see me play, please let me know in the comments. Or if you have any more questions about this game, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you next time.